That's why I think it's important to have companies that can help you globally, because even if you don't have offices there, people are calling you from those areas, and you want to be able to handle that. Things like telephony denial of service. People don't talk about that often, but that's a real thing, and that's happening all the time. And so that's why it's great to have a global company and across the board, people that can work for you that way. So what do you guys think? What do you think the next 3 to 5 years, if you were to look at it, what does that look like to you?
I would probably have given the same answer a year ago, first off. But as you mentioned before, the big challenge we have, or the enterprises face, is protecting data. And that's fundamentally what we're trying to do, is getting controls closer to data. And what we're seeing is lateral movement up, movement down. And it's really because computing is moving from a centralized architecture. We're used to, years ago, having a data center and then a bunch of people down the hall or in the building next door that access that data center. And just not that many systems were digitized. You still did a bunch of stuff on paper. And we've kept that same model with everything now, the crown jewels, in the centralized data center. And when we're giving people access to the network, we just give them access to the whole network, right? Which is crazy. And so as soon as you have some compromise, you get this lateral movement, things get really, really nasty. So I think over the next 3 to 5 years, what we're really going to see, and I feel like zero trust is a dirty word at this point. It's like so polluted and overdone. But what it's fundamental,
it's a drinking game now.
It's a drinking game, yeah.
Drink.
Yeah. But fundamentally what you're trying to do is you're trying to limit, you're just sort of like limiting control and just applying like basic security principles. And so if I was going to like tactically point at a thing that organizations are doing today that actually has a bunch of knock-on effects is getting rid of the VPN. It's interesting to me that VPN was considered a security tool. There's nothing secure about a VPN. It's just actually extending the border of your network to someone else that you have even less control over than the machine inside your office. So it's like an anti-security policy or a security tool. And so as organizations try to get rid of the VPN, they move from giving users access to networks to moving to giving them access to applications, having visibility to what they're doing in the applications, and therefore you can control the data that they're interacting with in that application. But it has all these knock-on effects. You'll have to get your identity, your IDP sort of rationalized. You'll have to start doing like network segmentation. You have to get MFA, and not just MFA now. You have to have phishing-resistant MFA because now the hackers are grabbing your OTP codes and jumping in and grabbing your data as well. But those are all sort of the knock-on things that happen when you start to think about how do I connect my individuals, my employees, and contractors to the applications they're going to interact with data within.
Yeah, if you think about it, the networks that most customers have are the same networks from the last 20 years. Nobody's really changed their world. I always told a joke. I said when Windows 2000 came out, Microsoft said, anybody who gets their MCSE can make 6 figures. So a whole lot of people went out, took the 7 classes, took the test, got their MCSE, and built the same scrawny network across the entire world. And it had a firewall, and it had a border. I mean, it was the exact same network with one entry point, and it's a north-south. The problem we're seeing in today's world is that doesn't work anymore. 70% of the data that you're creating is created outside of your data center, created at the edge of your network, and doesn't even need to come to your data center anymore. It could go straight to the cloud. And so we've got it. One of the things we sort of look at is that's why I think SD-WAN is right on this edge of really taking off, because when people say, I don't want to put all that money into rebuilding the network, don't.